Hey guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Man, have I got a massive hit today. We are going to learn how to do Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. Now this one, it's mostly a bass line. So we're going to be playing the bass lines on guitar. We're also going to be playing what Brian May plays on guitar as well. Kind of mixing it all up so we have kind of one continuous thing that we can just play on guitar. So we're going to be doing the bass line when it's just that going on, and then we're going to be playing what Brian does when he actually comes in and plays something. So there is a couple of instances where there's some kind of overdubs and stuff like that, and we're not going to be able to get all of those. But in that whole midsection, which is just sound effects and everything, we'll pass on that one as well. But for all the actual music and the bass lines and the guitar parts, we are going to go through all of those. Now, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring the notification bell so you know it's a new video. You can like and comment, it really helps. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube and get something back for it as well, join my Guitar Academy. You're going to see a link to that in the description below. My Academy is my online guitar school, contains all my guitar courses. One subscription gives you access to all of them, and personalized support from me, and access to weekly live streams for just Academy members and me, so you can ask me questions every week on video live, so I can answer it in real time. And I got courses for everything from complete beginners to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. I'm always adding more stuff to it too, so please go check it out. Free 7-day trial by clicking that link below. All right, so let's jump into the song. I am in standard tuning here, and I'm playing Les Paul, which means I'm uncomfortable. You guys love to watch me play Les Pauls because you know I don't like it very much. But, so I brought it out for you guys. So here we go. Let's start here with this. The intro here is actual bass line, 2 times through, and then we have Brian May comes in with kind of a higher version of the riff, and so we'll go to what Brian does there. So we start with this, which was strictly on bass, played twice. And then it goes to, Brian May, which is this. All right, so we're going to start here with this 5-3-0 on the left. First of all, thankfully Vanilla Ice did not rip this one off and ruin it for everybody, but we have, we'll talk about that. So 5-3-0 on the low E, then a couple more hits on the open E. And then we have this 1, 2, 3 open E hits. And then 3, 0, 5. So this. Do that again. And then you continue that, but he just kind of continues with a simplified version of the bass riff to match what Brian's doing on an octave higher. So that's going to be that 7th fret on the A string hit 3 times. Then kind of hit 3 more times more quickly. Then 5 on the D, 7 on the A, back to 7 on the D. You can do that with your pinky or just roll it. So he does this 3 times just in the intro. And then here, the vocals come in. So when Freddie comes in, Brian continues with this, this riff 2 times. Then we get to the pre-chorus, which moves around pretty quick. Looks like this. So that goes back to that main riff again. So this right here is at the third. By the way, when you follow this along on Spotify, it's out of tune. You can have recordings on YouTube that are actually match the pitch, but the Spotify version, I don't know if they remastered it and it kind of tweaked the tuning a little bit, but it sounds a little bit out of tune for a standard tuned guitar. But if you listen to you can go follow like instrumental versions of this on YouTube, and it'll lock in there. Those are in tune. So we have basically, so we have this 3rd fret on the A string. He kind of 3 times, and you kind of hold that last one, and then so then it goes 4/5 on the A, over to 5 on the D, and then 3 on the low E. So we have this. It's a little bit slower. And then we kind of do a variation of that. A little bit simpler. So this, so 3, 3, 3, hold it, and then 4/5 on the A, over to 3 on the low E string. So we have this. All right, and then we start the riff over again with that. First of all, the way we played it the first time, like that. So you just do that, and then there's the ending, which jumps up here to the 5th fret. 5, 5, 5, 6, 7 on the low E string, and then the 3rd fret there on the low E string, kind of slightly bent up, and that kind of takes us back to the main riff again. So we have this, the whole pre-chorus. Then we have kind of this. We get to the chorus here. Called as the chorus. It is the chorus. So we have the chorus is played kind of starting with the simple this just the bass kind of really that you'll hear at the beginning, and he plays a simple version of that main riff, and then there's a little bit more going on at the end. So it looks like this. So then it goes back to a little transition thing. So that is when Brian earlier did his little, the bass will be simplified. It doesn't have that little lead in it. It just goes. So I call that like kind of simple version of the bass riff, and simpler version. So it is 1, 2, 3 on the open E string, and then quicker hit of 3 on the low E. So this is when there's just bass going on in the song. Then 3, 0, 5. So you do that 3 times. And then we get, it kind of changes up a little bit, moves around. So we have this. Now, we have 2nd fret there on the low E string. Then we jump up to the 7th fret. And that's going to be 7, 6, 5, 5, 5. So then back down to that 2. And then we have this chord that comes in here. He kind of swells it in a little bit, but kind of that kind of thing. Now this chord, he doesn't play it like this live. When I see, especially, I don't know, it's kind of hard to, obviously when Freddie was was still alive, the camera was on him 99% of the time. So it's kind of hard to see what Brian's doing a lot. That changed in the new version of Queen. When you see newer videos of the past few years, they show him a lot more, obviously, because he's the original member and everything. But he doesn't play this chord like this. He kind of does something completely different. In the recording, it sounds like it could almost be like a little bit of an overdub. Like multiple things overdub, but all the notes that are there, if you want to make it sound closer to the recording, don't really watch what he plays live, is this. So we have, So you have this 4th fret there on the D, 2nd fret there on the G. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to bar the top 3 strings at the 2nd fret, sorry. So you're going to get that 4th fret on the D, 2nd fret there on the G, 5th fret there on the B string, and then 2nd fret on the high string. And then you're going to grab that 3rd fret real quick, kind of a bend on it in a low string. Takes us back, so it goes. So it goes to this riff by itself twice, which is that little simple bass riff. We'll say that the simpler version of the bass riff. And then we have verse number 2 that comes in. Now this is where Brian switches to playing some funky chords. It's really, really cool. So it's completely different than verse 1. This looks like this, the chorus. So the chords first starts with an E minor. So it's an E minor bar chord here at the 7th fret. So open E if you want, but you're really kind of just hitting these 5 strings. So it's barring from the 7th fret across the A to the high E. Turn a little bit of that distortion off. So we have this bar from the 5th fret to the high E. A string to the high E string. All right, and then the 9th fret on the D, 9th on the G, and 8 on the B. Standard E minor. So you gotta really funky this up. He doesn't keep a consistent pattern every time he plays it. So it's more about just getting that feel of like you're releasing the pressure of the chord. You're kind of controlling the sound of the rhythm with the muting. And then we're going to jump back and grab this A minor chord, which is the 7th fret there on the D, 5th fret across the G, B, and the high E. So you just hit that once. So after that, you're going to go over to the, play this C major triad here at the use 5th fret on the D, G, and the B. And then move it back 1 fret. And slide it back up to the 5th fret. So we have this. And then repeat. So you basically do that riff twice, and then it goes back to the same pre-chorus that we did before. And then it gets to the 2nd chorus. Now the 2nd chorus is a little bit different than the first. It starts with that simple bass riff, but only played twice, and then it has that little extended version of the bass riff that we saw at the very beginning of the song played once, and then the same ending as before. So it looks like this. So it's that same ending, but basically the simple version of the riff twice. One more time. And then the extended version of that, where we're going to add that 5-3-0, 5-3 at the beginning. And then play that version of it. And then the same ending as the first chorus. All right. Then we kind of enter, I don't know what this is, a bunch of effects. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Only Queen can get rid of it. Only Queen can pull this type of stuff off in like so many songs. It's just, and live. I don't know. Anyway, so then when the band re-enters at 2:28, we kind of enter with the guitar version of the riff, but there's a quick little. So we have that same guitar riff that we did at the beginning, but you can see it start with 2 bass notes here at 5-3 on the low E. And then here. That same riff. Brian's riff that we did in the intro. And then he goes back to the funky chorus, so we're back to verse 3, which is the same. All right, then the same pre-chorus. Same pre-chorus that we did before. And then we get to chorus number 3. So there's some little guitar overdubs at the end of this riff, so we're gonna kind of see what we can do to make sense of that. So this chorus is a little bit bigger sounding, a little bit more guitars added to it. So it looks like this. All right, so that right there, obviously those 2 hits there are more, I'm kind of going back between bass lines and guitar parts, and can't really have the big distortion sound of that. We could, good if we wanted to. Or this. So beef it up if you want to. But anyway, so we start with the same as the previous chorus. It's just when we get to that ending section, it kind of sounds more like, you can, not really power chords, like you hit that note, and then up here, you hear that higher octave version of that melody. So I'm just kind of adding them together as like an octave. So it's that octave of the 7th fret, so that's the note on low E string, 7th fret, and 9th fret on the D, muting that note in the middle, string in the middle. Other than that, it's just, so it's the same as that. I'm just adding a note octave on top of it. And then you go down and hit that 5, and then instead of that, he comes up, gets that actual, some power chords up here at the 10th fret there on the A string, so it's that G power chords, 10th fret on the A, 12 on the D and the G. And then you come down and move that down 3 frets to the 7th fret, and then when you hit that, I'll hit the low E with it. And then it goes back into that riff there, funky riff played a couple times, and then we end the song with kind of with the pre-chorus. But it just ends there instead of doing that end at the end. Just ends on that 7. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a really fun one to play, and you can kind of piece it together even if you don't have a bass player. You can kind of get pretty close to it, except for that middle section where it's just all sound effects. But other than that, you can pretty much, people can follow along at least and know what you're trying to do. But it's such an iconic riff that whatever instrument you're playing on, people will instantly recognize it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.